welcome back to DVC Weekly. This is episode 113. My name is Jason Opperling. I'm the broker of Buy and Sell DVC. I'm here with Scott Ferrioli.
I'm the owner of DVC-Rental.com and Buy and Sell DVC.com.
And today is April 5th, 2023. The 11-month window from today is going to be March 5th, 2024. And the 7-month window is November 5th, 2023. As always, it's buyandsellDVC.com and DVC-Rental.com. Remember the dash to save the cash. Now, we're going to start on the buy and sell DVC side of things. And again, I was at Vero Beach, mentioned Vero Beach last week. Super excited about going back to Vero Beach again. Wanted to go there next year for spring break. Now, this is old news because I see there's all sorts of articles on it, but I'm not going to tell you that I keep up with every single news bit because, maybe at the time it wasn't going to affect me. But the feature pool at Vero Beach, the mini golf, everything, did you already know this? Is closed from January 8th, 2024 through late March 2024.
That's rough. January and February at Vero Beach are typically dead times, but through late March, you're going to be hitting all the spring break people. So that's really rough.
So we were going to go there next March again for spring break. But then we found that news out, and then it just becomes, I don't think that we can go there without the feature pool plus.
Yeah.
That's a major, of course, if we go
and
there.
The mini golf too?
What?
The mini golf.
Yeah. That whole area is
which means that the
foundation, everything.
The kids like splash and play area, if you've got little ones, that's going to be closed too. So that's, I say this in the nicest way. Vero Beach is a nice, relaxing resort. And there's not a lot of stuff to do. It's really hang out by the pool and do mini golf and that type of fun stuff, or go to the ocean. And if, for spring break, the ocean's going to be somewhat chilly, cold. So a lot of times you'll probably be hanging out by the nice, warm, heated pool and doing, again, the games and the DJ and mini golf and all that other stuff. And if that's all closed, I haven't planned anything. Vero Beach was possibly an option for me for next spring break as well. That's a tough pill to swallow. And now spring break in Orange County next year, I think is around like March 17th. So, obviously, if it's late March, you'd be talking there in the final stages, but still, it's not going to be able to be used, I'm assuming. Well, even if they finish early, it's a crapshoot to book it right now because it might. Odds are it's not going to be done. Maybe there's a small chance it comes in early, but you really can't book a spring break trip there knowing that there's a good chance that that's all going to be closed.
So, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but are people, do you think it's just going to be almost no bookings there while this is going on, or?
I think, in all honesty, when Walt Disney World news is out there, a lot of people hear about it, but there's a ton of people who don't know what's going on with Walt Disney World. They just show up at Disney World and, it's like a surprise.
They find out.
It's a surprise to them. Maybe you find out when they get there. Vero Beach is so, the people who really like Vero Beach are going to probably be in the know. But the thing is, the news about Vero Beach does not travel like Walt Disney World does. If Walt Disney World is closing an area, taking down a ride, retheming a specific mountain, everybody knows about it. Finding out that Vero Beach is closing what is a very, very important portion of Vero Beach, a lot of people I'm thinking are not going to know about this. And while I'm sure January and February is is not peak season, it's not going to be packed, I think there's going to be a lot of people who show up and are not prepared for this.
Because to
be honest with you, I didn't really realize this. I remember hearing something. I'm more in the know, and you're more in the know than most people, because we do Disney stuff all day. So, we know more than the average person who's coming to Disney. I remember there being something about this, but I couldn't remember when. I had no idea until you just mentioned this, that it covers next spring break. So there's going to be a lot of people who don't know about this.
So we're planning on trying to go to Hilton Head at spring break if we can get a reservation. Yes. So, I hate to say it now because then now people, if this goes viral, everyone knows about Vero Beach and they're booking Hilton Head. I'm competing with them.
Because of you. Thanks a lot.
But I just had to mention that. So just keep that in mind. If you're watching this, you're like, oh, I want to go to Vero Beach, January 2024 to through late March 2024 is the plan as of right now. Of course, I'm sure that can change, but that's the plan as of right now. So, I mean, as a member, when you go to book it, I'm sure it's going to be highlighted in red that that's going on. Because
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so, because that is, I mean, that's a lot bigger than, like, you know, I joked around about, you know, the like Splash Mountain going down. Everybody knows about that. Them removing that whole area, I mean, that's like, I'd say that's 70% of your activities, or 75% of your activities. That's a huge amount. That'd be like, you know, Disney sitting there going, you know, by the way, we're refurbing the parks, but we're just leaving Epcot open. You're like, you know, Epcot's fine, but, you know, you're not gonna sit there and come down for several days when, you know, 3/4 of the stuff that you normally do is shut down. And that's kind of like what this is.
I mean, and what's crazy, I mean, I was just there. I mean, I didn't feel like, oh, this needs to be redone or anything. I mean, it just must be, you know, part of the schedule. You know, do it before it has to be redone.
I'm shocked that they're doing this over spring break. And maybe they're still busy in December and they go, we need 3 months. When do we do this? And we don't want to touch, you know, summer season. We could just start it a little bit earlier and not hit spring
And I guess
break.
you don't want to start in September because that's hurricane season? I don't know.
Yeah, you figure, September, October, November.
Right, that'd be the better 3
December
months.
is light. You know, you don't want to mess with spring break time for people. That's when things are starting to warm up and you're getting a lot busier.
All right, now we move on to the food of the week.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! Get in my belly!
I'm still stunned. I'm not sure if I can do the food of the week. I'm upset about Vero Beach here, but so my wife and I went to Steakhouse 71 for the first time, which is at the Contemporary. We went during lunchtime. Now they do have different lunch and dinner menus. Lunch menus are always a little less expensive. So if you're thinking of, I mean, that's a great tip for somebody. If you're thinking of trying out a restaurant, you're not sure if you're going to like it or not, see if they have different lunch and dinner menus, because they can vary drastically, you know, how much you're going to have to pay for everything. So, walked into the restaurant, is less than half full. They still made us wait about 5 minutes, which is not really a big deal at all. That happens a lot with Disney. I ordered the prime rib sandwich for $19. It was shaved
I like
prime
how you
rib.
threw that in there, though.
I like to mention stuff like that so people know what to expect. You know, it's always one of those weird things. You go to a restaurant and you have to wait 5 or 10 minutes, and then you start walking through the restaurant and you see all these open tables, and you're like, "Why the heck was I waiting?" But you know, it's for staff reasons. They got to make sure they've got enough staff to cover all the tables and stuff. But that's one of the things that bothers me. Sometimes you wait a half hour to get into a restaurant, and then you walk through and you're like, "There's all these open tables. What the heck?" But prime rib sandwich, $19. Shaved prime rib, caramelized onions, herb aioli, provolone, arugula. Horseradish cream is always on the side. Served with your choice of petite Caesar salad, Parmesan fries, or pasta salad. What do you think I went with? Did I go with the Caesar
Parmesan
salad?
fries.
Darn right I went with Parmesan fries. Hence the beard and hence the chins. You got cover. Parmesan fries. They were pretty good. Now, this was pretty much just a cheesesteak sandwich. It was decent. I enjoyed the Parmesan fries. Overall, probably it gives about 6.5. I probably wouldn't order this again, but I would definitely go back to the restaurant. I mean, this was strong enough, and we got something. My wife and I split stuff, so we got something else that we tried. I'll be reviewing this in an upcoming episode as well. But it's one of those things that when we tried it, we liked the restaurant. We had a complete opposite feel with Ale and Compass. We went to Ale and Compass. I've done 2 reviews on Ale and Compass food, and we disliked both of it. It'd be really hard for us to go back there again. After trying this, I go, you know what? We're definitely going to be going back here again. And I looked at the dinner menu the other day, and the prices were not that bad. They were actually comparable Disney prices, and actually a little bit on the less expensive side, I felt like, for their steaks and everything, where maybe a steak was $35, and I go, at another restaurant on Disney property, that's probably $40. So I said, prices seem to be pretty decent. Nice restaurant. We'll definitely be checking this place out again. We did enjoy being there.
Here we go. Voyage or Wonder of the Seas.
Wonder of the Seas. Now, I want to point out, this is the largest cruise ship in the world.
At this time.
At this time. Icon's coming next year, and who knows what's going to happen after that. This time, Wonder of the Seas, largest cruise ship in the world, had capacity of over 7,000 people, and it was sold out because we went during spring break, so it was book solid. I will say, Jason had asked me earlier, like, were there lines for everything? there really weren't lines for anything at all. For the shows, you can book stuff in advance, like on their app, and you just walk right in. You show them that you've got a booking, and they let you in, or you can line up on the side and just try to go in, without a booking. And we did both. This is by far the most amount of shows that we've seen on any cruise ship. We saw 1, sometimes 2 a night. Every night they had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of shows going on. It was, I think, by far the best entertainment we've seen on any cruise ship we've been on. We've been Royal Caribbean, Disney, Celebrity, and Carnival in the past, and we've got Royal Caribbean coming up. But this is by far the best shows I've ever seen. We saw several shows multiple times because they were that good. And you're looking for stuff to do. And you finish a new show and you're like, hey, the Aqua show was absolutely amazing. That's starting in, 20 minutes. If we hustle over there, we could probably, walk into the Aqua show, which was called Intense. Absolutely fantastic show.
Ports of call?
Ports of call. We went to Coco Cay, which is Royal Caribbean's private island, which we've done before. Coco Cay, I'm sorry, Castaway Cay people, blows away Castaway Cay. So much better, so much more stuff to do, so much bigger and nicer, just absolutely beautiful. Got to play beach volleyball for the first time in 20-something years. I'm still wearing a knee brace because of it. Hurt my knee a little bit, just aching. They had pickleball right next to it. The kids, I forget what it's called. It's called like bounce ball. Have you seen that one? Where they put like a trampoline on the ground and the kids like smack the ball. Spike ball. People brought in, I'm not sure, I don't think people brought them in. I think maybe they had like a place that not rents them out because they don't charge you. But like all of a sudden we were playing volleyball and then people started playing pickleball next to us. And then all of a sudden 2 spike ball courts, we'll call it, got set up. So there was a lot of stuff to do. Water's beautiful. Absolutely love Coco.
And when you're on the island, Royal Caribbean provides all the food, right?
Yep. All the food is free.
And so again, you're talking 7,000 people.
7,000 people.
And you're telling me that...
And there's 2 boats in. There's us and another large Royal Caribbean ship are both in Coco Cay at the same time. So, and still tons of chairs to be able to get.
And there's no issue getting the food?
No. There were... I went up twice.
So explain how, is there just because there's 12 different places to get the food, or because
there's different sections on the island, different beaches they have. We wanted to play volleyball.
So you're in the sand volleyball section?
There were 2, yeah. There's a place called South Beach that had sand volleyball, and one of the other sections had sand volleyball as well. And so we went to South Beach, and we got there, somewhat early. Had a choice of almost any chair we wanted. By the end it's full, but the thing is, I guess if you go somewhere and it's full, you just move down a little bit or go to a different section. And there's trams that you can walk to the different sections. We walked through 4 of them to get to South Beach.
And are you docked at that port?
We're docked, yes. And there's trams that will drive you around the island and take you to different sections as well, and announce which section you're at, and you can hop off and go. But lots of different options. Went and got food twice. Once I literally walked right up.
That's awesome.
And once... picture being in any quick service restaurant at Disney, there's 5 bays open and each one had 10 people in it. But I think I probably waited maybe 5 or 6 minutes to get up there. And then I had my food in less than a minute.
Oh, wow.
A lot of prepared chicken sandwiches and mozzarella sticks, burgers, basic stuff, but not buffet. It's all, pre-cooked right there. And it was all very, very good. They're known that their chicken sandwiches are very good, and the chicken sandwiches are very good on the island. Again, all of it's free and paid for. So people come around to do. You can get drinks and stuff while you're there, but there's also they have the servers coming around and getting you drinks and alcoholic drinks if you want them, and special pina coladas and fancy stuff. But all covered as long as drink wise if you have that package. But all the food is covered. Really, really nice time. Also went to St. Kitts for the first time and St. Thomas. St. Thomas we had visited 20 years ago. St. Kitts was a first for us. Did tour St. Kitts. We hired an outside company to do it, and they were absolutely fantastic. It was great. My wife can hear me. Was it Thurston Gray? Something like that, Jen? Thurston Gray. Thurston Gray. Outside company that does the tour. A lot of these other buses, they pick you up, they have a ton of people in them, or they have the open air ones. This one, nice, closed, air-conditioned van. The guy, I'd seen videos of him on YouTube doing his tours. We happened to get that guy that I saw doing the tours as well. absolutely fantastic. Couple hours that teach you all about the island, teach you about different areas, then drop you off at the beach area for a little bit. Very nice. St. Kitts, a little bit of a rougher area. I mean, you're driving through and I've been to a lot of Caribbean islands, and I mean, you're driving down the road and there's just like cars that people are like living in, or like burnt out cars on the side of the road. You know, there's beautiful parts and there's parts where it's
like stray animals running all over.
Yep, stray animals. The beach we went to, there's a section where there's monkeys and mongoose. It's like mongoose, little rat ferret things running around, and you feed them and they come up, and our guy stopped first at a little like bodega type place that came back with like some bananas and some little apples and stuff. When we went there, you know, you cut them up and had the monkeys coming over, and my kid gave my kid a little piece of banana, and the monkey came over, took the banana out of his hand. So lots of like wild animals and stuff going around. And
so you're trying to start COVID-23 or something?
Exactly. Watch out for the monkeys. But had a really nice time. A little bit of a rougher island.
Now, is St. Thomas, do they take American dollars on St.
Yes.
Thomas? Okay.
Both places will take American dollars. St. Kitts also quotes you in their local currency, but they give you the choice.
What's their currency?
I don't recall the actual currency. I forget what they called it there, but St. Thomas is U.S. dollars.
Okay.
Been there before. East Caribbean dollars.
Okay.
East Caribbean dollars is what St. Kitts also uses. St. Thomas, again, U.S. dollars. Did a tour through Royal Caribbean. I personally like St. Kitts guy did a better tour. But this was
just like a tour of the city?
Essentially, you like drive through the city, it tells you about everything. You go up to this one place where it's like a famous place where they have the world's best banana daiquiri. It's a huge gift shop.
Was it the world's best banana daiquiri?
I didn't have any. It looked gross. I'm not a big drinker. It was, we got there.
It looked gross. I love it.
We got there at 9 o'clock.
That's like one of my 13-year-olds.
We got there at 9 o'clock in the morning, and there's a line for people, you know, getting dropped off by all these tourists, all to get these daiquiris. I'm like, I don't want a banana daiquiri at 9
in the morning?
And they give it to you, and I mean, it's like separated. You know, like if you get something that's been sitting too long, and they're like, you know, you got like, it's just, it looks nasty. You try to whip it up and try to fix it. I didn't want one. And they were expensive too. I was like, oh, the island, you think it's be cheaper. Like little banana daiquiri in a regular like solo cup was like $12.
Oh, really? Yeah, you'd think it'd be like $4 there.
It was expensive. Beautiful, beautiful views. So did that, and then you go down the island, and a lot of it's hills. So you're going around. It was a lot of fun. And then dropped us off at Megan's Bay, which is St. Thomas's.
I love Megan's Bay. My gosh.
St. Thomas's famous beach. We went there.
The water is
when was the last time you were there?
It's been a long time.
We went there 20 years ago, and I feel like when we went there, it's still absolutely beautiful for the record. Absolutely beautiful, but we were one of 30 people on the beach. It is like Fort Lauderdale spring break now. I mean, like you can't find a spot to sit on the beach. Oh, really? Yes, it took us a while to even find some place to sit with, you know.
We might have been there in like 2004. It might have been almost 19 years, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember being there. It's always one of the things, my wife's listening with the story, I remember is that we were sitting there in the water, and there's a little fish about this big, and it's just bumping up against her leg. She's like, Scott, there's a fish trying to eat me, and she's freaking out. It's just this little fish that's just, you know, just messing with her. But the thing is, we were like one of the only ones in the water, and that's what I remember, is that there's nobody else around. It was nice and peaceful. This is like, you know, going to the beach, and it's still absolutely gorgeous. But there's towels lined up everywhere. And, you know, you've got to fit your towel in, and, you know, if you reach out, you can touch the person next to you pretty much on their towel, because everybody's going there now. And
that's kind of,
it's not locals. Locals don't go there. It's all the cruise ships and all the people, all the tourists are staying there. About the airline.
The alcohol.
The alcohol. The beer. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm getting tips from the outside people. There was one shack that sells alcohol.
This is on Megan's Bay?
This is on Megan's Bay. There's one shack there that sells alcohol. The line for alcohol was probably 300 people deep. Like one line just like, you know, went down like the whole beach, like around the parking lot. I mean, it was like, I mean, a football field or more long to get alcohol at this one stand. Only one stand sells alcohol. They only have one stand there. But the line for all these people to line up and get alcohol, I'm like, you're only here possibly for a few hours. You really want to wait in an hour-long line to, get a Corona, get a pina colada?
And how'd you get to Megan's Bay? That's by cab or?
That you can get by cab, but this is, again, we did the tour. That was part of our tour.
So did you get to stay there along with the tour?
With the tour, Megan's Bay was a 2-hour drop-off.
Oh, that's nice.
Which it's not a long time, but truthfully, we're not huge beach people normally anyway. So it's like if we were like trapped on the beach there for 4 hours, we wouldn't have been happy. It was a little crowded, and my kids are not really. They like going to the water stuff, but they're not huge beach people. But 2 hours was a really nice amount of time.
That's perfect, yeah.
We got to enjoy there. And what was also hysterical is that while we're sitting there, we're walking back, the guy's like, you meet me back at the van at 2:00. We're walking back to the van, which is, mind you, 100 feet from where we are on the beach. I mean, it's a small little beach. It's not like we have a long walk at all. We're just walking back. It's probably a 30-second walk. All of a sudden, we start hearing these sirens blasting. And it's not like they're like going down and back on. I mean, it's just like it's nonstop for like 2 minutes. We're like, what the heck is going on? Everybody's just standing there looking at each other because it's all tourists. There's no locals. It's all tourists looking around going, what is happening? And apparently, like every Wednesday, they do a tsunami warning. Oh, so that's what that was. It was a tsunami alarm that they have going off. But yeah, that went off for like 2 minutes, just like nonstop. We're all looking around going, I don't see anybody running. There's nobody running out of the water. Nobody's injured. I don't see the helicopters coming in. What's happening here? But it's apparently tsunami testing, which was fun. But yeah, Megan's Bay, absolutely beautiful. Again, packed now, absolutely packed with people. But when I say packed, it's also realize the depth from, the parking lot, the amount of sand before you get to the water is probably, 50 feet. It's not like it's, I've been on some beaches in Long Island where, when you park your car, you're walking for 10 minutes down to the beach. Like it's far. It's a very small little beach. So there's not like a ton of people that could fit there if you wanted to, but there's so many that it is pretty packed in there. But I mean, it's one of those things, if you go to St. Thomas, definitely still go to Megan's Bay. It's absolutely beautiful, but busy, definitely busy.
And where else do you go? Did that cover all your stops?
That covers it. It was just Coco Cay, St. Kitts, and St. Thomas.
And you docked at all of them?
Yes. Docked at all of them.
So that always helps.
Yeah.
If you had that many people trying to tender off, that would take a while.
Be a pain, yeah. There was no tendering. We docked at all places we went to. And it was a 7-night cruise. It only had stopped 3 times because it takes a while to get down to like St. Kitts and St. Thomas. A lot of times, you hit Cozumel and you hit the Bahamas all first. So a lot of times the short cruises, I did a 3-day cruise. I did 3 stops because they're all right by Florida. To get down all the way down to St. Kitts and St. Thomas takes a little bit of a while. So it's like 2 full days of cruising before we even hit like an island. So.
And no rain or anything?
No rain. I'm trying to think of the weather was perfect the entire time we were there.
No crazy waves or anything?
No, it was a little rocky sometimes. Not bad at all. I've been through much worse on the ships. But
do you have to take any?
I always take I take
Bonine.
Bonine. We take meclizine, which is the
sister of it.
Yeah. It's the generic form of Bonine or meclizine or whatever it is. We take that, and I always put the patches on the back of my ears.
Oh, okay.
On my ears.
Your kids too?
Kids do as well, because I do get seasick. It's one of the things I do get seasick.
And do you guys have 1 room or 2 rooms?
1 room.
Okay.
And we had the worst problem with the room. What happened is it actually worked out well for us. Is that we booked well in advance. We booked a balcony room overlooking. There's an area on the ship called the Boardwalk area, where they've got Johnny Rockets and they've got a carousel, and that's also where they do the water show. So we had that booked while we were on our celebrity cruise over Christmas. Apparently, the final payment for our cruise was due, and we didn't realize it. So we called back immediately because our room got canceled. They canceled our room. So I called back immediately and said, we didn't realize this was due. Can we get our room back? They said, your room's no longer available. All they have is a ocean. We had like the 11th floor, nice, beautiful room. All they have left is inside, ocean view rooms with no balcony on deck 3, like towards the bottom of the ship. Later on, our type of room became available again. And we originally had paid $4,000 for the room. When it became available again, Royal Caribbean was charging $14,000 for the room. So our room was $4,000. When we rebooked the lower category room, we had to pay $6,000 for it. And then when our room became available, the balcony room, Vero Caribbean was charging, instead of $4,000, they were charging $14,000. So we stayed with the room we had. So we had a not as nice room as we had booked, and we paid more for it. That was our own fault. It happens, but still had a really, really nice cruise. I heard some people complaining that the balcony rooms, especially like the ones that we had that overlooked the boardwalk, because of the aqua show, were super loud.
Oh, really?
I said sometimes that aqua show was going to like 11:30 at night, and you could hear it very easily inside those rooms. So,
and do you get the drink package or no drink package?
We're not big drinkers, as you know, so we get the soda package, and this time I got the extra beverage package, which included like pina coladas and bottled waters and stuff like that, and shakes. I spent way too much time at Johnny Rockets getting shakes, because you can get free shakes there. And the guy knew me by name, so I'd go in there. And truthfully, I'm the only one who got the beverage package. So I'm really only supposed to get one for myself. But I'd go in there, and he knew me, and I was always tipping him. And he was like, how many, you want 4? I'm like, sure, we'll get 4 for the whole family. And then we invited kids down. My kids were like hanging out with, like, hey, come get a shake and stuff. And it was a really nice time. There's a guy, Muhammad, on Johnny Rockets, who's absolutely fantastic.
So if you had to wait for like a pina colada, because is it a long wait because there's 7,000 people on the ship, or
like at a bar?
Yeah, like if you said, I decided I want a pina colada. It was super.
I've gone on a bunch of cruises recently. I mean, it did not seem any busier than any other cruise I've been on.
You're not even like fighting for chairs by the pool?
We're not big layout by the pool people. I remember I walked out by the pool several times. I walked out by the pool at 10 o'clock in the morning, packed.
Like, already packed with people, or packed with towels on the chairs?
Packed, both. But you could not find a chair if you wanted to at 10 a.m. So everywhere else on the ship, I felt no difference at all. The pool area, which is something we don't normally do so much, that I think is what absorbed a lot of the people. A lot of the people. The pool was super, super busy. Not our thing, but I don't know how long we're even going right now, time-wise, but I'm just picturing like...
But hey, this is the largest cruise ship right now. It takes time.
Well, what I absolutely loved is that, I told you about the boardwalk area. That's on deck 8. On deck 6, they have Central Park. Central Park is all outside, and they've got trees and bushes and topiaries and stuff like that, and lights, and they pump it at night, like crickets chirping a little bit, and every night they had a guy out there like playing guitar and singing and stuff. It was my absolute, and it's all open air. So you look up, you see the sky and everything, and you're in a cruise ship. And that was my absolute favorite thing, because the breeze would come through, and it was so nice in there.
I don't even think we've covered like what was like, so the flow riders on there?
Flow riders.
Just real quick, we got a flow rider.
Flow rider.
Rock climbing wall.
2 rock climbing walls. Only one was open, but 2 big rock climbing walls.
Multiple pools.
Several theaters.
Water slides
pools.
Or no?
6. I'll say, I think it's like 4 water slides and 2 dry slides, where they give you something like a slide to like a mat to sit on, and it goes from deck 13 down to deck 6. It just.
Is there a bowling alley too, or no?
No bowling. Ice. There's an ice skating rink. Ice skating shows are very good. Basketball court.
Pickleball courts?
Was there pickleball? I don't know if they're pickleball courts. At some point, I think they turned the basketball courts into pickleball for a small, for a couple hours or something.
Gotcha.
But I don't think there was a set pickleball court. But there was so much stuff to do, and it was an absolutely fantastic cruise. Loved the cruise. Very, very happy.
Kids loved it?
Kids loved it. We all had a really, really good time. Some people are complaining, the Wi-Fi is so horrible. We had no issues with the Wi-Fi. We've had issues on other ships with Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi seemed to be working well. I mean, everything. I mean,
did you on one cruise you had to pay like a crazy amount per day?
The Disney cruises are insane. It's like,
but this one
it's not per day. On Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, they charge you, say it's for for four people, it might be $35 a day or something around those. Maybe it's $40 a day for unlimited, where Disney is like $90 for 1 gig, which again, you watch a YouTube video, within 5 minutes you've gone through a gig. So I mean, the Disney stuff can add up really, really quick. I like Royal Caribbean and Celebrity. I think Norwegian too are all unlimited. Disney charges you by the gig. So
Casino on the ship?
big, largest casino I've seen on any ship. So far.
No gambling for you?
I don't. I haven't gambled in a while. I don't mind gambling. I mean, but I didn't do any gambling, and I possibly should. The casino was always the most crowded I've seen on any ship as well.
Oh, really?
I think a lot of, from what I've heard, is that a lot of people who got like casino credits, who get like free stuff, this was the first time they've ever opened up the wonder of the ship to those people who have like credits and like vouchers, like, free trips and stuff like that, because they gamble. So I think there's a lot of gamblers on this cruise.
So basically, in summary, you're saying there's a lot of people gambling, and all those same people were waiting in line, a 300 people line at
They're all
Megan's
gambling
Bay.
and drinking. Yes, they're all at Megan's Bay, and they're up at the pool. During the day, they're at the pool, which I didn't go to. At night, they're at the casino that I didn't go to. And when they're all hanging out at Megan's Bay, they're all in one large line just trying to get a pina colada and some beers. But great time, great ship.
I love it.
Had a blast.
I love it.
Yep. All right, we got to cut this off.
Spent a lot. Yeah, we have to cut it off, but still, it's the largest ship right now.
Yeah, largest ship at the moment.
So thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment about your favorite, cruise ship or cruise line, whatever the case may be. And we hope to see you back next week.
Thank you very much.